If you're planning a visit to the Loire Valley and you love Renaissance art and history, do not miss the final home of Leonardo da Vinci at Clos Lucé in Amboise. It's about a 10-minute walk from the chateau. We visited here in May of 2022. Clos Lucé itself is amazing to walk through. It's his home. It's a beautiful mansion, but it still feels like a home and is full of his tools and some of his works. You can see some of his inventions and walk through the living spaces, and it feels very much like it might remain the way it was in his time. Actually learned a lot about this fascinating man. He is, of course, famous for the Mona Lisa painting, which has been hanging in the Louvre for 200 years, and for the painting of the Last Supper, which is not in a museum. It's in a refectory in a convent in Milan. One of his largest pieces, however, his masterpiece, does not exist and never did. He spent 17 years working on sketches and models of what was supposed to be the largest equestrian statue in the world at the time. It was commissioned by the Duke of Milan, and 70 tons of bronze were collected for casting it. But in 1494, the Duke gave the bronze to his father-in-law to be used to forge cannons to defend the city from an invasion by none other than the French King Charles VIII, who we learned in a prior video, unfortunately died at the age of 27 in Amboise when he struck his head on a door frame running out the door to a tennis match. Leonardo went through many sketches and ideas for this enormous statue, and the final clay model was said to have been used by French soldiers as an archery target when they invaded Milan in 1499, and it was destroyed. It was later said that Michelangelo once insulted Da Vinci by implying that he was unable to complete the project. I love these rooms, especially his workspace and his books. Many of his notebooks still exist, and a lot of his writing is from right to left, possibly because he was left-handed or possibly to be in a code because they can only be read with a mirror. But it was really interesting to see these on display. Leonardo came to Clos Lucé in 1515 at the invitation of the French King Francois Ier, and there are believed to be tunnels to access between the chateau and the house. Francois and his older sister Marguerite spent time as children at Clos Lucé, and her actual bedroom is still on display. You can walk through it with the tapestries and the beautiful four-poster bed. Anne Boleyn fans will find it interesting, as I did, that Anne was serving the royal French family at the same time, and it's fun to imagine the future Queen of England having met this incredible artist. I especially loved seeing Leonardo's bedroom. He wrote his will from this bed on April 23rd of 1519, then died here on May 2nd of 1519. Legend says that Francois was at his deathbed, as you can see in a famous painting that hangs next to the bed, and it looks like the same bed. Sadly, Leonardo's last words are said to have been, "I have offended God and mankind because my work did not reach the quality it should have." Who can possibly imagine what further he could have offered us? Da Vinci was the original Renaissance man. He had no formal education, but his interests ran widely from painting and sculpting to inventing, architecture, science, music, math, anatomy, astronomy, geology, engineering, botany, writing, and cartography. Many of his prototype inventions can be seen at Clos Lucé, and some of his ideas include armored cars, the idea of solar power, parachutes, moving bridges, a calculator, a hydraulic pump, the original design for a machine gun, a flying machine, and the first bicycle, designed 300 years before the first actual bicycle rolled out on a street. He was such a talented young artist, it was said that his art teacher asked him to draw an angel, and Leonardo's angel was so beautiful that the teacher decided to never paint again. He was also intensely interested in anatomy, and his sketches are some of the earliest and most detailed works we still have. He's also said to have been the first to study the flights of birds and is credited with explaining why the sky is blue. There are many wonderful quotes attributed to Leonardo da Vinci, and I love them all, but some struck me as so ahead of his time and still applicable today. These are some of my particular favorites. Where there is shouting, there is no true knowledge. It is easier to resist at the beginning than at the end. Nothing strengthens authority so much as silence. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. The greatest deception men suffer is from their own opinions. There are three classes of people: those who see when they are shown, and those who do not see. Learning never exhausts the mind. Tears come from the heart and not the brain. Knowledge of the past and places of the earth is the ornament and food of the mind of man. And my favorite, once you have tasted flight, you will walk the earth with your eyes turned skyward, for there you have been and there you will long to return. What a perfect motto for those of us who love to travel. I hope this has inspired you to visit Clos Lucé and learn about this astonishing and wonderful Renaissance man and his extensive contributions to history. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.